I was just reading about the story of the Baltimore Orioles and one of their greatest players of all time, Matt Wieters. He wears the number 32 and is one of their best catchers of all time. He switch hits from both sides of the plate, obviously because he's a switch hitter. He hits lots of home runs. He made the All-Star games in 2011, 2012, and 2014. 2011, he was the only player on the Orioles roster to make that All-Star game. 2012, him and Jim Johnson, who is now a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, and Adam Jones were the only people on the Orioles roster to make that All-Star game. 2014, him and Adam Jones and Nelson Cruz, who now plays for the Seattle Mariners, were the only people to make that All-Star game.
Was born on May 21st, 1986 in Goose Creek, South Carolina. He attended high school at Stratford High in Goose Creek. When he was on the baseball team, the team also featured future MLB player Justin Smoke.
2014 All-Star Game. Matt Wieters did not play because he had Tommy's arm surgery, but he was also a starter. He came from the College of Georgia Tech, and before that, he was a player at Stratford High, who his team also featured a future MLB player who's now the first baseman of the Toronto Blue Jays, Justin Smoke.
And All-America by Rivals.com in 2007, First Team All-America by Baseball America, and Second Team All-ACC in 2006, and the ACC Rookie of the Year, Freshman All-America, and First Team All-ACC in 2005. A switch-hitting catcher who hits in the middle of the lineup, Wieters had a good eye at the plate and has great power to the field. We finished his junior season with the Yellow Jackets and went to the MLB. He also served as the Yellow Jackets' primary closer. Wieters played in the minors for the Orioles, for the Frederick Keys, and the Bowie Bay Sox. When he was finally called up to the majors in 2009, he wore the number 15 in his rookie season. His rookie year, he did not start very much, but he was still very proficient for the Baltimore Orioles. He hit very well and handled the pitching staff okay. After Wieters' rookie season, he changed his number from 15 to 32, which is what he wore at Georgia Tech and in the minor leagues. He disappointed some observers because of his difficulties handling the Baltimore pitching staff. He established himself as a solid defensive catcher, though, in 2010, throwing out many runners while also hitting for power and a fairly good average at the plate. Wieters earned a Field Bible Award and a Gold Glove in 2011 as the best defensive catcher in the MLB and the American League, respectively. He was also elected to the AL All-Star team that year, in 2011, which was held in Arizona. Has a very good reputation defensively that most players are ridiculed to even attempting to steal against him, often in humiliating fashion such as Carl Crawford. On April 16, 2012, Wieters helped the Orioles rally to beat the Chicago White Sox in 10 innings by hitting his first career grand slam. On July 1, 2012, Wieters was selected to represent the Orioles in the AL All-Star Game for the second consecutive year. On October 30th, it was announced that he had won his second consecutive Gold Glove. On opening day, April 2, 2013, Wieters became the first Oriole to ever hit a home run against Tampa Bay Rays starter David Price, a 2-run shot in the top of the first. On April 18th, Wieters helped beat the Rays again by hitting a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 10th. Wieters was the first Oriole to hit a walk-off grand slam since Harold Baines in 1999. 2014, Wieters was hitting over 300 when an elbow injury of his throwing arm put him on the 15-day disabled list. He was still on the disabled list on June 11th when he was the leading American League catcher in the vote to determine AL All-Star Game starters. He was very unlikely to play, but people still wanted to see him in the All-Star Game. On June 16th, the Orioles announced that Wieters would go undergo Tommy John elbow reconstruction surgery the next day, ending his 2014 campaign. Surgery was successful, though, and he was elected as a starter for the MLB All-Star Game, even though he did not play. Even though Matt has had his up and downs in his career, he will still go down as one of the best catchers in Orioles history.